What up, y'all? It is Alex, and today we are going to break down the track SeeSaw by Jamie XX and Romy, looking particularly at the arrangement of it. So it's going to start off with a drum break, and then you're going to hear some pads and synth melodies and just like beautiful melodies start to enter the game. So here we go. It's so beautiful. Okay, so let's just look at what we've got in the main loop. So once like the beat really gets cruising, which is right at this point here, the drum break is going. We have this beautiful it's this beautiful synth melody right here. And then we have the with you, which is like with you. It's two with yous, so we have this first one, which is more like a with you, and then this one's more dragged out with you. And then we have these chords playing. They sound like they're really reverbed out. They actually remind me of chords in the track Aaron by Paul Kalkbrenner, if you're into that. Yeah. In addition to the drum break, I think this is probably just layered on top. It sounds like we have these little 16th notes going like tick, 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 tick. Listen for those. They're in there. It might help if I do this. Let's see. Maybe we can hear them like this. You can kind of hear that tick, 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 tick. But whatever. So that's playing. And then we have this big bass line that's just playing a 4-note bass line. Do, 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 do. Kind of like a classic sound for like a catchy sort of song. I'm not sure if it's hard to hear the chords because they're so verbed out, but it does sound like it's maybe dropping down. It's maybe 4 chords and it's just dropping down here at the end. Listen to the chords. But yeah, so that's the main groove. It's just so dope that they're gonna let it play for 16 bars just looping. So yeah, at this point, this is cool, but if we just kept looping that forever, we might get bored of it, so it's time to switch it up. So we see that happening by having a change in the vocal. Now instead of this with you part, we're having this SeeSaw line come in. It's a different melody. We had this big synth melody drop out, now we have this other little synth melody come in. It's just going like pew 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 pew. Yeah, hopefully you can hear that. So we just have like, and it sounds like we have different chords going on too. So this is like a big change. We can view this as our A section, then we have our B section. The bass line is still doing the same thing, but yeah, but with all the change in the other harmonies, this really is just like a new section. And so, yeah, we get our B section, and this also sounds great. So they're going to let this cruise for another 16 bars, and then we're going to go back to the A section, I think. Let's see. Beautiful, beautiful. So we're going back to the A section, but It's going to be different than this A section because now we have this I see pictures in my. So we have a new vocal line. We still have the with yous playing. They're kind of cruising in the background. The drums are a little more aggressive. So listen to the drums here. They're just consistent, you know. Here we get a little bit more movement in the drums. Here you can feel it like more aggressive. Here you get, it's more like at the beginning here, you get like a little drum fill. It just is a little more intensity, which makes this next, you know, it keeps the track building and keeps us interested as it goes. Another interesting thing you might want to note, even though the most prominent melody here is do 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 do, you can hear another voice lower down. I didn't mark it out here, but you can hear another voice harmonizing it that's lower. It's going more like, instead of going I see pictures, it's kind of going more like do 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 do. It's down there in the register. If you listen closely, see if you can hear those harmonies. They're going to hit at the same time as these other notes. Beautiful. So to end this section, they just drop out the bass, which makes it a little, it makes it nice. It kind of preps us for a new change. This line actually looks a little different. These first three are the same, do 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 do, but then this one's a little different. Let's see if maybe it's more like this. So beautiful. So now we get this section again. Over here when we had drums going. Now we're getting it without the drums, so it's a little more like intimate. And it sounds like you can hear a sample in the background, maybe just of like, I don't know, someone walking around the woods or something. If you just listen for it, you can hear like this like especially right here, you can hear like this ripping sound. I don't know, it just adds like a graininess. It adds like to me, it's almost like you're watching a video now, like on some old camcorder, like video camera. It gives it some sort of intimacy that's nice. And yeah, we're getting this B section with in a whole different way because there's no beat. It's just more intimate and alone. And yeah, that helps us. I don't know, to me it helps you like feel like pretty, like, damn, things this person's talking about is pretty real. Okay, so now we're kind of getting into this, like, we're going to go into this big crescendo to end the track. I love this part, how we go back into the A section, but now we're just, like, reconstructing it. We've never gotten to hear this synth melody. It's not by itself right now, but we can really hear it properly because there's not a whole lot going on. I just want to note how weird this melody is. Like, if you were to sit down and write that, that's just, like, a weird thing. Like, I don't know, maybe I don't know how they wrote it, but it's super cool. It's just really good. And so now as we're like building back into this beat to get back into the drums, we're going to get a new melodic element. I called it an ARP. It might not technically be an ARP. let's just call it a C-section synth, or let's just call it final. Let's call it plucky synth. It's kind of plucky. It's kind of going do 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 do. So now this is cool because we're about to get into a groove like we've done before, like another A section groove, but it'd be interesting if we could get back into that groove with different melodic elements than before, just because kind of like how this this A section has a different melodic element to this one. It just kind of keeps it interesting for the listener to get these new, like, beautiful things to hear, while also hearing the familiarity of what we've already heard. That being the main groove with the drums, with the bass line, with the pads, etc. So notice how as we rebuild in this final A section, you have this plucky synth coming in, and it kind of starts to take the show. We're going to get some more like little different synth sounds coming in too, just to make this a really sparkly and interesting section with new sounds. Real quick, this is cool. We had a lot of activity here. You're gonna see how I made the drums white just because we're getting all these like drum variations, which I think is exciting. I pointed this out earlier. It just keeps things like, just adds a certain intensity to it. Yeah, it's just kind of cool. It's just kind of intense, and it makes sense to have this in like a section where we're getting close to fading out. Speaking of fading out, this is another interesting thing that I like, because I feel like in a lot of the tracks we've broken down, I think this is track number like 40 or 41, or we've been through a fair amount at this point. Go ahead and check out other videos if you like, and subscribe while you're doing that, and like this and tell a friend if you think this is cool. As this last section is cruising, you're going to notice how this main synth melody and this big with you, these are going to fade out. Meanwhile, these like bells are going to come in. The plucky synth gets really strong here. That's why I made it blue. It's kind of more pronounced. So it makes sense that these start to fade out because you can only have so many things happening at one time. You can only hear so many things. So these kind of get out of the way to start letting the plucky synth get strong, and then these like bell sounds to kind of, you know, start to take on more of the show. So notice how that happens. Just like listen to how these fade out. It's kind of interesting. See, look, they're gone now. The with you and the synth melody is gone. Did you even notice? It's really cool how that happens.
With you. Stop.
The world just...
Boom, and then the track's over. Cool, right? So let's just talk a little bit about this last section again. These melodies fade out here. Slowly, these bell sounds kind of get more prominent. Then we get these sparkly chords coming in too. And they just really like lay us to sleep. The drum break fades out. The With You comes back for a bit. And it's just this really beautiful ending. And it's cool how many nice little harmonic pieces we have in this song. I mean, we have the sparkly chords, the bells, a few different vocal lines with the I See Pictures, the With Yous, the, what else do we have? There's another vocal line in there. The plucky synth, the bass, the pads. This is just, that's probably maybe partially why this song is so popular, because it just has so many beautiful little things to listen to. And it's just paced so well. Like the way this fades out, I feel like you can't even tell unless you like break it down like this. And then these sparkly chords and the bells come in at the end. And you have that weird little sample to end off the song. But it's cool. So there you have it. If you want MIDI files or the Ableton project, shoot me an email at wilcox.alexme.com. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Spotify at Alex Wilcox. I'll point out this thing really quick if you're still here. That's just that little... It's there. There's some other tiny little details like that I didn't talk about just because I really just wanted to focus more on the macro side of things. But yeah, if we look back at this track, it looks like we have an A section, a section, a B section, an A section, a B section, then an awesome long A section at the end. So A, B, A, B, A, and the final A is special just because, I mean, they're all special, but I love this, how the final A, you just get all these nice little melodic variations and beautiful things. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed this video. Tell a friend, subscribe, like it, you know, all that. More coming. Bye!